Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing the Raw review for tonight's Monday Night Raw that just went off the air. Again, I want to do more show reviews that are much more on the same night, because I want to obviously do NXT reviews. But with that being said, let's get to the Monday Night Raw review. And we start things off with Finn Balor. He's repping the new Judgment Day merch. I actually really liked this Judgment Day merch, to be honest. But Finn Balor came out angry. He came out alone. He's pretty pissed off about last week, pretty obviously. And it didn't take long for Rhea to try to come and settle that shit down. Finn Balor pretty much was about to come at Priest hard, and Rhea and Dom both came out, tried to calm Finn down, and Finn wasn't having any of it. And this was going to be the first of many times you're going to see Judgment Day on Monday Night Raw, to be honest with you. And, of course, we had to get a little bit of Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins just didn't come out, interrupt, and have a match with Dom. Not just yet. He came out with a whole-ass Buffalo Wild Wings meal. You got the spicy wings, you've got the some of the other flavors. You've got the carrots, you've got the celery. You've pretty much got everything you need for your little chicken wings pack right there. And I love this. I mean, it just proves Seth thinks he's in cruise control on Monday Night Raw, which he kind of is. I mean, man puts on banger after banger. But this was such a great segment. And also Dom getting angry. You could tell that Seth is one of those guys. Dom, one of those rare guys that gets into Dom's head. But this was a great opening segment, left a lot of questions with Finn, but obviously, how can a segment not be headlined by a man, by your World Heavyweight Champion coming out eating chicken wings? I thought this was great. Next up, our first match of the night, Drew McIntyre is finally back in action. This is his first match since coming back. He teamed with Matt Riddle to take on Imperium. The match was alright, obviously the biggest parts for Drew McIntyre coming into the ring. Obviously warning Gunther, and Drew McIntyre ended up pinning Giovanni Vinci. And obviously this match wasn't that long. It was to showcase Drew McIntyre, that Drew McIntyre and Gunther match. I mean, I've also noticed that Drew looks good. Like, he's in better shape than Clash at the Castle Drew. Like, this is probably the best shape I've seen Drew in his career. But this wasn't the end of this segment, because it seemed like there was a little bit a tease of dissension in Imperium. So Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle won, they're celebrating, and then it cuts to Imperium on the stage, and Gunther's disappointed in Vinci. He walks away, and when you think that that Gunther's gonna walk away from both Kaiser and Vinci, Kaiser walks away from Vinci. So clearly, Giovanni Vinci is not doing something right. Obviously, he just got pinned. But the first tease of dissension in Imperium, I'm just going to say this right now. Breaking up Imperium is an automatic mistake. This is a tag team. This is a faction that you keep together for a long time. You can add another member. You can kick out members. But just breaking up Imperium would be one of the biggest mistakes in the Triple H era, probably the biggest mistake. But yeah, the first dissension of Imperium. And then we go back to another faction which got dissension, and that's the Judgment Day. And, Rhea Ripley trying to play Peacemaker multiple times. But Damian Priest is like, it's not my fault. You could become World Heavyweight Champion. Damian Priest is basically saying, I can cash in on Roman Reigns. And they come to an agreement where, Damian Priest will let Finn Balor beat Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Damian Priest can go after Roman Reigns, so the Judgment Day can have all the gold. And they come to an agreement of this. But then Damian Priest goes, they agree to a plan, but then Priest kind of just goes I've got it on lock. I think that's what he says. So Priest just agrees to a plan, and then he basically says Priest has got a plan of his own. So you can tell that Finn Balor's sort of confused. Finn Balor's he's definitely not sure of Damian Priest yet. And I think this is easily the best storyline in WWE besides the Bloodline. Week by week, they are doing way better and better telling the Judgment Day story, which I really enjoy. And, yeah. But this also would not even be close to the last time you see the Judgment Day on your TV screen. And also, I wanted to talk about the factions. Of course, Imperium and Judgment Day have their problems. Damage Control is about to break up probably in the coming months. It seems like all the factions, there's not one faction in WWE right now that can stay together. I mean, I guess WWE loves their faction wars. I guess that's a thing that Triple H likes, but I'm sure, I think Imperium will be fine. I think the Judgment Day will still be a thing with JD McDonough. Obviously, the Bloodline is about to be all done, so. Next up, we have our first appearance of KO and Sami Zayn. They're about to be interviewed. And then here comes, for the third time, Rhea and Dom again. And, KO and, Rhea warning KO and Sami that the Judgment Day are coming for all the titles. And, KO's getting angry. He's like, we asked for male competitors, not female competitors. And I'm assuming that Dom and Priest probably will be the people. I have no idea who is going to be a part of the Judgment Day's tag team match versus Sami and KO. But I still think they are definitely going to fight Imperium at some point. Who knows? But this was a fun segment. And Sami also, whispering to KO what, about Rhea and Dom. Just a great segment. I mean, Rhea, Dom, KO, and Sami, you already knew it was going to be comedy gold, and it absolutely was. And next up, we were supposed to have Dom versus Seth Rollins, a rematch from last week. It was actually the rematch. Not even 1 hour into the show, we had a rematch of the main event from last week. We had Dominic Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. And the match never got underway because it was a trap. Finn Balor and Damian Priest again show up, and they attack Seth Rollins. And it seems like that I have no idea what was happening. I'm assuming that Finn Balor, Damian Priest was not going to cash in. They just wanted Finn Balor to pick up the scraps. But here comes Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They save Seth Rollins, and we got our main event on lock. Sami, KO, Seth Rollins versus the Judgment Day. Main eventing Monday Night Raw that night. Next up, we had Logan Paul and Ricochet. I was really excited for this promo. Ricochet did a great job. We don't get Ricochet promos a lot at all, but I think Ricochet's promo did really well. This felt like his first promo in years, which I probably think it was. But Ricochet, he did a pretty good job. Logan Paul coming out, he barely moving, didn't even go to the ring. And we got a repeat of one of my favorite NXT promo spots. Velveteen Dream and Ricochet. Ricochet just jumps outside the ring and stares down Velveteen Dream. This time he does it with Logan Paul. I just thought this was just perfectly executed. Great job. And so far, a really good start to the build of the Logan Paul and Ricochet SummerSlam. Now, I have no idea. Now, Logan Paul is not the guy to show up every week, so I don't know if we're going to get something every week between these two. Probably not, because there's a lot of Monday Night Raw storylines going into SummerSlam, but this was pretty cool. And, also Ricochet, Logan Paul saying, you've got more forehead than hair, I think. Logan Paul making fun of Ricochet being bald. And Ricochet just talking about Money in the Bank. No one wanted you to win Money in the Bank. Fun ass segment. Next up, we had Zoe Stark versus Becky Lynch. We all thought that Becky might win this match, right? Becky's facing Trish at SummerSlam. Might as well build the momentum. The match was good overall. I think Zoe Stark looked really great, and obviously Becky Lynch got cleared very late to compete in this match. But this Zoe Stark looked like $1 million in there. And I am very impressed because Becky and Zoe, if they went on longer, we wouldn't have been talking about one of the matches of the night. Like, Becky and Zoe kicked so much ass, and Zoe ended up winning. I think it was an interesting pin combination. Zoe ended up beating Becky Lynch, and that's the biggest win for Zoe Stark on the main roster so far. So good for Zoe Stark. I think she deserves it because, her promos can do a lot of work, but what doesn't need work is her in-ring ability. Absolutely great. Big win for Zoe, and I think this will lead to a much more bigger picture of Trish and Becky at SummerSlam. Next up, we've got the Maxine Dupree graduation ceremony. Obviously Alpha Academy, anything they're going to touch turns into gold. And Maxine came down in a pink graduation gown. And this was a gold segment. Maxine Dupree says she saw the light from Chad Gable, but Maxine was kind of, you see the Rizz from Otis, and the whole Otis and Maxine thing is hilarious. It's like Otis was kicking up his Rizz. Otis knows how to attract the ladies. This man attracted Mandy Rose before, so we really shouldn't be questioning anything that Otis is doing. And this was just a great segment until the Viking Raiders ruined it. Valhalla attacked. Valhalla, I believe that's her name, not Sarah Logan. Valhalla attacked Maxine Dupree, and officially next week for Raw, we're gonna have a 6-person tag match, I believe. The Viking Raiders versus the Alpha Academy in a Viking rules match. Let me know down in the comments what that is, because I'm still trying to figure that out, but it sounds like a banger to me. Next up, we finally got, for the first time since that Ronda promo, we saw Shayna Baszler in action. You could definitely tell we've got NXT vibes, Shayna coming back, which you love to see it. And very obviously, Emma became the victim of a squash. Shayna beat her in like 2 minutes. And but Ronda Rousey came out. One day WWE's hoping that Ronda's gonna get those cheers, but she got booed again. And I swear to God, I was watching like the beginning of a UFC match. Shayna and Ronda needs to happen at the Fight Pit at SummerSlam. That's the only match type that I can think of that will literally help this match from being not a disaster necessarily, but will help this match from people saying they don't care. I think people will care more if you put Shayna and Ronda in the Fight Pit, bring back the UFC vibes. But Shayna just successfully trolled Ronda again. And, like I said, that whole skirmish thing just felt like a UFC fight going on. And I think the Fight Pit is the best way to go about it. Next up, the man himself, the man of every WWE event, Cody Rhodes showed up. And this man compared Brock Lesnar to disasters. Cody Rhodes listed like a disaster that could happen in your life, and he compared it to Brock Lesnar. But besides that point, Cody Rhodes was I couldn't even say, like, Cody Rhodes speaks in such a big word language. I couldn't even repeat what he said during the promo. But Cody Rhodes laid out the challenge. He wants Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. He didn't give a stipulation, so we don't have our stipulation yet. But Cody Rhodes, just a great promo. I mean, Cody Rhodes. We knew that Cody Rhodes was going to deliver a big promo, and we now found out that Brock Lesnar is going to be in Cody Rhodes' hometown next week. So obviously next week is going to be the biggest chapter of the Brock and Cody rivalry on the road to SummerSlam. But I could totally see Cody Rhodes getting his ass handed to him in his hometown. But, Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, it is pretty much official. I don't really care about WWE timing. Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar is happening at SummerSlam. And let me know in the comments which stipulation you guys want to see. To me, I still want that 3 Stages of Hell match to return. It's a match type that I wanted to return such a long time. I really think Cody and Brock would be good in a 3 Stages of Hell match. If not, just put them in Hell in a Cell. Next up, we had Ciampa versus Miz, in a no DQ match. The match was fun, and we got the sort of the heelish Ciampa back, but as a babyface. Ciampa was throwing Miz. Miz was stuck to a chair. He threw him to the ring apron. The announce table almost got destroyed. Ciampa put Miz through a goddamn table. Ciampa was all over the Miz at the end of the day, until Bronson Reed. Yes, Bronson Reed is still on the Miz payroll. Bronson Reed comes in, destroys Ciampa, and just like that, Miz is on the board. This is his first win in 2023, and he actually got it against Tommaso Ciampa. Very, very clever. I thought this was a very fun match overall, but it seems like the Miz and Bronson Reed storyline is back in play, which I don't mind at all, because it clears a path for Johnny Gargano to return, which I think is like more imminent than imminent at this point. So, good for the Miz. I'm glad for the Miz that he won. I literally made a post today saying that the Miz has lost every match this year. So, great timing that the Miz ended up finally getting his first win tonight. And I don't think this really... People are saying that Ciampa got buried. Those are people that pretty much don't know what they're talking about, because we're about to see that DIY reunion, and it's about to hit different. Next up, we had a backstage segment. Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green talking smack to Raquel and Liv, who look beautiful as always. And then Rhea Ripley again. I swear to God, Rhea Ripley just has spider sense to where every segment is. She comes in and she stares down Raquel, and obviously Raquel is tall as hell. Raquel isn't scared of Rhea because Rhea stared down Raquel 2 weeks ago. And Liv isn't scared because Liv has a history with Rhea Ripley. They were tag partners. So, and basically, the stare down, the seeds being planted for SummerSlam, and Raquel saying that she's not afraid of Rhea. Now, also something that was very funny is that Chelsea Green provided comedy gold in a serious moment. Chelsea Green said, 3 strikes, you're out, basketball. I legitimately started dying when she said that. It was just so funny. Chelsea Green has been one of the best re-signs from Triple H. But, this was such a great segment, great setup segment. And that would lead to Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green facing Kaden and Katana. Great tag team match. Didn't really last long. We didn't really get to see Kaden and Katana do much of anything. Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green ended up winning the match. And WWE promoted that Liv and Raquel, Chelsea and Sonya, women's tag team titles on the line next week. And I certainly think we will not... Just a little bit of a hint. I think Rhea is definitely going to get her nose involved in here. But I think this will be a great tag match. I think that I am a little bit excited about this because I think this is the big opportunity for Sonya and Chelsea to win tag team gold. I think they've lost 3 women's tag team matches already. Tag team title matches. Is this the one where they beat Liv and Raquel thanks to Rhea? Who knows? And I think, obviously, without the women's tag team title, I think Raquel can solely focus on building up her one-on-one rivalry with Rhea. As for Liv Morgan, this opens up the door for solo Liv storylines. You can keep the tag team together, but, Raquel can focus on Rhea, and maybe we can get a brand new, fresh singles rivalry with Liv Morgan, which would be a great thing as well. So next up was the main event. It was a 6-man tag team match. Judgment Day, Sami, KO, and Seth. And this match was really, really great. The match started off, everyone was fighting each other. And the funny thing is, KO was talking smack to Rhea that whole time. The match felt a little bit sloppy. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there was a moment in the match into which Seth kicked out. But I think that Sami thought he wasn't kicking out. So when Sami broke up the pin, he legitimately actually hit Seth Rollins in the chest. But there was also a moment where Seth and Finn didn't know exactly what moves they were going to hit, so they kind of flopped to the ground. But, I'm not here to judge. I still had a lot of fun time. I mean, especially the big star power in the ring. And the Judgment Day ended up winning, to my surprise. Finn Balor pinned Sami Zayn, which I thought was a really good decision. And the Judgment Day, heading into NXT tomorrow, where they will confront Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, pick up the win. It's a good change that Judgment Day stand tall. You know, Raw could easily end every week with Seth and Sami and KO standing on top. But we got the Judgment Day. This was a Judgment Day show. This was totally like, you know, this was a Monday Night Raw meant for the Judgment Day and no one else. The Judgment Day has it on lock. Even the segments that felt like there's absolutely no way a member of Judgment Day will get involved, it did. And also, just wanted to end off this video showing KO stun Dom, you know, images that you love to see. Now, next week for Monday Night Raw, we've got the Viking Raiders versus Alpha Academy. You've got Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes, and a lot more. Hope you all enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Hope you all enjoyed this Raw review.